Yes, you can get the best career outcomes from your MBA without depending on your placements. And while you might have thought that this is a clickbaity sort of title, the fact is that it's not. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying that the best career outcomes which you can get from MBA are the ones which are beyond your placements. Why exactly do I say that? Stick around up till the end of the video so that I can share with you what are the things which you are completely missing out in your MBA. Hi, I am Darpan Saxena, an MBA from IIM Udaipur, and let's get on with the video. Now, for you to really find that what am I trying to say when I say that you can get the best outcomes from your MBA when you look beyond your placements? For that, you first need to understand that what are these various outcomes which you can have which are beyond the placements. And second thing is that you need to understand that why do I think that placements are not the best outcomes which you can get from your MBA. So first of all, I will share with you that what are the various outcomes which you can have from your MBA. So I have split it up into two kinds of outcomes. The first one is which are dependent on your B school, wherein your B school is the facilitator for those outcomes. And for that, we obviously have the on-campus placements which are entirely organized by the campus. On the other hand, we have some opportunities, some outcomes which you can get without depending on your B school, which are not directly facilitated by your B school. For this, I have three different outcomes to share, and for a lot of MBA students, all of them would sound like a secret. The reason is because these three have always been in front of you. However, a lot of you have constantly ignored this. So the three outcomes which you can get from not depending on your placements are: one, the off-campus placements. Second is that you can become self-employed and live a freedom lifestyle using your knowledge and skills. And the third one is that you start off a business right after your B school. Now, apart from the fact that you can also go unplaced, which is a rarity across most of the B schools, these are the only four outcomes which you can have from your MBA. Now, I'll start off by explaining each one of them. And obviously, the first one I'll start off with is the one which is dependent on your B school. And I'll help you understand that why do I feel that that is not the best outcome which you can get. In fact, I would also say that if your focus is only on the on-campus placements, then probably you are doing a grave injustice to your own self. So here are the two reasons why I think that on-campus placements are not the best outcomes which you can get from your MBA. The first problem with on-campus placements is that it is a zero-sum game, which means that if somebody wins, someone else has to lose. Why do I say that? Because there are only a certain number of organizations which can come to your campus. There are only a certain number of job roles which will be offered in a specific domain. And obviously, there are only a certain number of students which the organization will hire from your B school. And obviously, if there is a fixed number to each of these things, somebody will win and somebody will lose. Now, it's not really about winning and losing. However, the problem is that we as MBA students, since our entire focus has always been on placements, and suppose if our dream organization to work with was, say, suppose a Marico, and a Marico has budgeted it already that they'll be hiring, say, 2 students from an IIM Udaipur, all the other students apart from those 2 students who would finally make it to Marico will start to feel that they are failures. Hence, what you need to be aware is that whenever anything is a zero-sum game, that is not the ideal thing for you. The problem is that we forget the fact that success is never zero-sum game. It is not that if somebody else, if your roommate is doing very well in his or her life, then you will not be able to do well in your career. It's not like that. Everyone can win. And in fact, if you have gone through my free course which I have created called 5 Steps Ahead Blueprint, I have shared with you one of the secrets over there wherein I'm saying that you as MBA student can get whatever outcome you want if you can forego the mindset of competition and adopt the mindset of creation. It is one of the secrets out of the 3 secrets which I've shared in that course. I would advise you to please go ahead and watch that entire course. So that was the first issue with the placements. The second issue with a placement is that the placement outcome is not entirely in your control. Now, while as a good student, you might feel that no, my placement is in my hands. If I work hard, if I do all the right things, which could be a certification, or if I could have the right CGPA, I will surely have whatever placement I want to have. However, the reality is that there are a lot of variables in that, and placement is not something which is completely in your hands. So if you actually imagine the placements as a fixed pie at the end of the funnel of your MBA, you would realize that the pie is fixed and you cannot do anything to increase the size of the pie. You as a student cannot ensure that if an HUL has budgeted that they will hire only 5 people from your B school, then you can do anything about it. You can't. Eventually, the entire job market is governed by various factors which are extremely external to you. Hence, which kind of job is going to come to your B school is absolutely beyond you. And we've seen great examples of this, especially during the COVID years. In fact, I would also want to make another point over here. You would have seen that a lot of student-run clubs and communities, they have started to organize a lot of competitions in order to help the students to crack competitive cases which are organized by various companies. Now, the problem again with focusing entirely on these competitive cases is that it eventually is also a zero-sum game. Only somebody can be a B school finalist. Only somebody can be a national winner, and that is exactly what the problem is. Therefore, if you are working towards these case competitions with the objective that you will be able to have a placement at that organization, I think that is a wrong objective to have, because you are forcefully involving yourself into a race which is a zero-sum game, wherein if you will not win, then you would feel that you have failed. However, surely these competitions are great to enhance the way you think about business problems, and hence if your objective to go for them is only to learn from them, then it is great. Another aspect of this is in fact that, as I had just now explained, that the problem with a placement as an outcome is that it is not in your control. I would also speak about the involvement of the placecom over here. We know that not all the placecoms are across the B schools, not all of them are the most ethical placecoms out there, and hence anything which involves the involvement of someone else directly for the most important outcome which you will have, I see it as a problem. Now, I'm not saying that you go ahead and you start to see your placecom with suspicion and with doubt, but I want to drive this point to you that anything which involves something which is not entirely in your control, you need to find better options for that. And the great thing is that you have better options for that, which are these 3 outcomes which I had shared with you, which will help you look beyond the placements, and it can open up an ocean of opportunities which you would not have even imagined for yourself. So now I'll start to explain those 3 outcomes, those 3 other outcomes which I feel are beyond your placements and can have a much larger impact on you than what a placement will have. However, what I'd say is that if you're somebody who has always seen an MBA, who's always seen his or her B school as a placement company, then I think that for you the video is done with, and I think you can go away. The reason why I'm saying that is because for these next 3 things, you need to shake off all the beliefs which you have had up till now, because the problem is that when you as a student enter a B school, you are only entirely focused on placements, and hence it might take you a lot of time to actually absorb the fact that you have been lied to, and placements might not be the best outcomes which you can have, and everyone and any one of you can get all these 3 other outcomes which I'm speaking about. So if you're somebody who truly believes in that, then only you should stay for the next part of the video. Great. If you have stayed, then I know that you are somebody who is ready to welcome new opportunities into your life, and that is what is important. So I'll start off by explaining the first of the 3 outcomes which are not dependent on your placement. The first one is that you can get off-campus opportunities. You can find jobs off campus. Now, you might think that, hey, It's impossible to find a job off campus. I mean, where are the jobs? There are no jobs out there. But the fact is that if you're truly good at your work, if you're truly skilled, and if you have the ability to explain to the world that you are skilled in that, then there are enough and more than enough opportunities which will find their way to you. I would give you an example for this. I know of a lot of students from some of the top 5, top 10, top 20 schools wherein they realized that the kind of internships which I can have from the placements inside the B school are not extremely good. They are not the kind of internships which I want to have. A lot of them, and these are the students who are freshers, they also have work ex, all kinds of students, I mean to say, all kinds of students, a lot of them I know that they signed out from their placements and they found enough opportunities outside, be it on a LinkedIn or somewhere else, and they could go ahead and do their internships over there. And again, also, if you are under the impression that okay, they might be having some sort of an approach in that organization and hence they were able to have that, then I'm saying no. Anyone and everyone can find such offline opportunities, and the way to do that is if you can explain and express your knowledge and skills through personal branding, through a continuous and constant effort of personal branding, then you can for sure find a lot of interesting opportunities. Now, when I had entered my MBA, I've shared this with you already that I have a speech problem. I stammer while I speak. I'm not fluent in my speech. And when I was in my first year, it was even worse. And when it was worse, I used to think that how will I get placed? Why would any organization would want to hire me? Nobody would want to hire who cannot speak. And then I started to think that okay, I might not be able to get good placements, but then I think I can take things under my control and build my hard skills enough so that my hard skills can do the speaking on my behalf. And hence I cultivated a lot of my skills. I started my blog, Super Heuristics, and that blog served as a proof that I knew certain digital skills. And through that blog, when my final placements had not even started, because of that blog, I was able to get 3 job offers from outside the B school, and those offers were far more lucrative than most of the offers which were there on the B school. Hence, if I, who was someone who was very insecure about these things, if I could work on myself, on my skills, and I could find a way to explain and express my skills through a blog, then probably you can also do it, you can achieve it. And for that, I have created a 5-step framework which I am offering to you in my free course called 5 Steps Ahead Blueprint, which you must go and enroll for. So I'm sure that from all of this, you would have understood that yes, you can find off-campus opportunities for sure. Now the second thing, in fact the third point, the third outcome which you can find is that you can go ahead and launch a startup of your own. Now again, it is not for everyone. If you have an idea, if you already have some experience, or say suppose if you have the fascination to work on your own startup, and if you have the right kind of people to support you on that, then you could go ahead and have a startup of your own. Now for this, you can obviously find a lot of like-minded friends, and you can create an idea and you can constantly work on this. One advice over here is that if you have identified that okay, at the end of the MBA, what I want to do is that I want to launch a startup of my own, I would advise you that right from your first year, start to create a B plan around it, and then go ahead and participate in a lot of B plan competitions which keep on happening in various B schools. How that helps is that if you have gone ahead and presented your idea in front of a lot of panels, your idea will keep on getting refined each time you go ahead and present it. Hence, that is one good and smart way to plan this out. However, if you're somebody who's interested to launch a full-blown startup of yours, you need to plan for this early enough. You cannot choose to do a startup just because you have not been able to achieve anything spectacular in your placements. I mean, I've seen a lot of my friends actually indulging in this, that if they find that okay, I've not yet been able to get placed, so then they would go around and say that, hey, maybe placements is not for me. I think I'll have to start off my own startup. And you know what? I had this great idea which I always thought that I'll do. And yes, I would do a startup. But the fact is that their choice of going for the startup of actually starting out was not the fire to do the startup, it was the fact that they wanted to escape the pressure which they were experiencing at their placements. Now, the third outcome, which is not dependent on the B school, is that you can go ahead and live a freedom lifestyle. You can be self-employed. Now, what exactly is that? And this point I can share with you because it is very close to my heart, because that is the path which I chose. Now, what I'm saying is this, that you can go ahead and use your knowledge and skills and monetize these two things in order to earn, in order to do well in your life. And I feel that the simplest way to explain it to you is through my example. I'll just share my example, and from that you'll actually understand what I'm trying to say. After that, I will also share with you a 3-step process of how you can do this for yourself, how you can go ahead and become financially free and become truly free right even when you are in your MBA, and how you can proceed towards a lifestyle like that, which is extremely fulfilling, extremely satisfying, and yes, it has a lot of hard work which you need to do. Now, when I was in my first year of MBA, I started my blog, Super Heuristics. Now, on that blog, what I used to do is that whatever things I used to learn in the marketing class at my IIM, I used to come back and I used to write a blog on that, and I ensured that I do at least one article per week. Now, as I kept on increasing my content on the blog, I also started to learn the skill of search engine optimization, which means I started to create my content in a way that the search engines will be able to rank it on the first page. And soon it happened. A lot of my articles were on the page 1 for some of the most competitive search queries. And when that started to happen, my blog started to become famous across a lot of B schools. And within 1 year, I was able to also start to earn from the blog through ads and affiliate sales. From there, when my blog started to get the kind of outreach which it started to get, from there, a lot of organizations, a lot of senior people in the organizations, they also started to identify me with that blog. And it is from there that I started to get a lot of consulting projects from around the world. A lot of small to medium business owners, they started to approach me for their marketing strategy, for SEO, for Facebook ads, and for a lot of things which an MBA from a good IIM can do. And obviously, as I explained, then I also found 3 full-time job offers thanks to that blog. Obviously, I chose one of those 3 job offers which was completely in line with the industry and the job role I wanted to be in. From there, when my blog started to garner a lot of audience and eyeballs, I started helping a lot of MBAs by creating courses around the knowledge and the skills which I had acquired over the last 3 or 4 years. And then I was able to again monetize my knowledge and my skills with the help of the courses. And thanks to all of this, thanks to that one project, that one small WordPress blog which I had started off in my MBA as a project, right now I am living a lifestyle of freedom where I am completely working on Super Heuristics, and I'm financially, emotionally, and socially at a much better place than I was earlier. Hence, from this entire experience of mine, what you should have understood is that I did 3 things which were right. And these 3 things were learn, do, and teach. And it is exactly what I would advise to you as well, that you need to imbibe these 3 things into your MBA: learn, do, and teach. So, for example, whenever I used to learn something in my classroom, I used to come and create articles on that. That was learn. Then the fact that I was using my marketing knowledge and skills in order to improve the outreach for my blog, that was the step number 2 of do, because whatever skills of SEO, of Facebook ads, of email marketing which I was learning from various sources, I was actually applying them somewhere, and hence it was do. Also, all the consulting projects which I was being offered was also a part of do, wherein I would apply my skills onto something and I would actually do that thing for them. And from there, the third thing, that when I had enough skills which helped me grow my own blog, as well as it helped me help my clients do well, from there I knew that I am at a place where I can create courses and I can teach it to others. I can teach teach other MBA students to how to do the same things which I was able to do and how to get the same outcomes which I was able to have. So I have walked these 3 steps of learn, do and teach, and if you also imbibe these 3 steps right now, then you can also expand your horizon and actually go for much larger outcomes than your placement could ever offer to you. Now I know that whatever I've spoken, it has ignited some fire within you. I don't want this fire of yours to go away, because it will happen. Because when you will go back to your B school environment where everyone is chasing after brands, wherein everyone is speaking about the placement and the next kind of organization which is about to come, you will forget all of these things. What I've shared with you is almost a secret. It is a secret. Why? Because it is being ignored by everyone else. But I don't want you to forget it. I don't want you to ignore it now that you've seen it in front of you. I would want you to go ahead and actually go for the free course which I have created called 5 Steps Ahead. It will further reinforce this thought. It will give you a lot many more secrets and a few steps about what you need to do. So I hope that you've completely understood the idea of what kind of great outcomes you can get from your MBA, especially because of the fact that you are an MBA. You are somebody who also has the technical knowledge thanks to your undergraduation, and you also have the business sense thanks to your MBA. You are at a unique place to do these awesome things, and if you do not do these things, if you ignore it again, and if you only focus on the placements, things which are not in your control entirely, things which are zero-sum game, then you will never be able to come out of that spiral. Because what I've shared with you, all of these 3 things, these are not zero-sum game. Everyone can win. Everyone can create his or her personal brand, a personal identity, and can attract different kinds of people to work with them. That's all I have for you in this video. If you've liked it, please go ahead and comment on it and hit the like button. It will help me understand that what exactly do you feel about it. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.